I'm Steve Smith, I'm Vice-Chancellor of the University of Exeter.
I am Pramath Sinha. I'm involved in setting up a new university in India.
I'm Richard Berry, I'm the Head of International at Norwich University of the Arts.
My name is Gerard Power, I'm a Professor of Telecommunications Engineering at the University of Ulster in Korea.
My name is Uday Desai, I'm Professor of Electrical Engineering and currently Director of IIT Hyderabad.
I'm Karen Blackney, I'm the Head of International at the University of East Anglia.
I'm Gopa Sabharwal and I'm the Vice Chancellor for Nalanda University.
My name is Professor Rajkumar. I'm the Vice Chancellor of OP Jindal Global University based out of India.
Dr. Sanjeev Sahni. I'm from the Jindal Group.
Patricia Hewitt, Chair of the UK India Business Council.
I'm Pankaj Jalote. I'm Director of what is called Triple ITs.
My name's Rod Coombs and I'm the Deputy President and Deputy Vice Chancellor at the University of Manchester.
India is one of the most exciting knowledge-driven economies in the world. And it's got this extraordinary young population full of aspiration, inequality as well. So huge challenges, but huge opportunities. And I think for British higher education, we've got so much to share with India. We've also got so much to learn from India. And particularly with the rate of innovation in India, in digital learning, for instance. If we aren't there, then I think we're missing out terribly. If we are there, then the benefit to our own students and our own faculty, as well as to India's students and teachers, it's immeasurable.
I think the Indian higher education system is in a bit of a crisis. There's been rapid expansion in our population, and we have not been able to expand the creating of higher education infrastructure that goes along with that expansion in population. And so we need help. We need help building more universities, improving our current set of educational institutions, and the UK has one of the best systems in the world and they can help us.
Exeter's international strategy isn't about students as much as it is about research partnerships. For us, India is one of the key emerging knowledge economies, and we want to invest in our relationships with those emerging knowledge economies and the established ones so that our researchers work with the best researchers in the world. We support that because we know that that raises average citation levels significantly. The best work is increasingly international in scope in research terms, and we need to fund that, and India is a key player in that.
The corporate world has done a very good job of exploiting, if I can use that word, Indian talent in doing research offshore, as it is called. And I think you could actually significantly increase the research output both in the UK and India if we were to partner, because we have smart young people in large numbers who can do quality research, but are lacking people who can lead them and supervise them. And here you have lots of people who want to do research but may not be finding enough students or young people to be engaged in that.
I think we need to look at research innovation coupled with education in niche areas. To me, that is very crucial, and the way things have moved in the last 5 years, I'm very hopeful that it will take to a next level where this flow of people from UK and India would be very like a smooth flow. We won't think too much about it. The way it happens in the movie industry in India. So something like that will happen in the education industry.
We have, I think, probably just short of 2,000 Indian students at the University of Manchester. I think that's the second biggest number of Indian students in a UK university. But of course, that's just one strand. And that in itself is not enough. So I think the second strand is that we want to further develop the small number of partnerships that we have with some of the really strong research-intensive institutions in India, particularly the Indian Institutes of Technology, the Indian Institute of Science. And I think what we'd like to do particularly is look at PhD level work with those institutions, maybe joint PhDs with some of those institutions.
We work with about 6 institutions in India. We go for deep relationships, not lots and lots of thin ones. We're based in Bangalore, we've an office in Bangalore. We work predominantly, but not exclusively, with institutions there, but also we work with institutions in Mumbai, Delhi and Calcutta. But the core point of all of the relationships is they have to be bottom up, i.e. researchers want to work with researchers, and lead to partnerships where both institutions support the research activity that the individual researchers are undertaking.
Talking about the citation and research research, how important it is that the other part of the world should also quote your research. And we need to publish more and more internationally than domestic.
We set up with the India-UK Advanced Technology Centre. It started off in 2006. There was all of these questions: why are we working with India? What are we going to get from it? What's the value add? And there was certainly an early observation that we had a lot to learn, because we have technical solutions that we think are fit for purpose in the UK-European context. And we had no insight into the extremes of climate, poverty, and different challenges, if you like, for our engineering solutions that you can see in India in many shapes and forms. So that challenged us in terms of our engineering, our designs. And so we got a lot of extra value in terms of how we educate our early career researchers to understand some of the limitations of our technologies. So our science pool, if you like, gained a heck of a lot over the last 5 years in pushing the boundaries of our understanding of some of the solutions that we need to put in place.
If we can get a few students moving back and forth, let's say for a year each, number one. If we can get some faculty to spend a semester each, number two. And if we can get some PhD students being jointly guided, one person here, or two people, jointly guiding a PhD student means spread over 3-4 years, perhaps under a project, which might be Indo-UK project or any project, doesn't matter. I think if we can achieve these three, it will be great.
I think the most important benefit is the fact that many of the leading British universities are far more international in their orientation, the cosmopolitan environment, the intellectually engaging environment, but also the quality of education that is offered in these universities. I think the big challenge in the Indian context is to fulfill that aspiration through internationalization, and that's the biggest benefit for Indian students to engage with British universities.
We see the international market, particularly in India, as a very important area of growth for us. We're not there yet, and the reason I'm here today is really to start our journey to get a sense of where we need to go, the sorts of partners we need to be looking at, getting as much information as I can, particularly from the sort of context of the political situation there.
Even today there's a lot of suspicion about Indian universities and colleges when people in the UK look at them for partnerships. So there's very strong intent on both sides, but there is a little bit of suspicion on both sides of what the real intention behind doing these partnerships is. So I would like to use this trip to reassure people that there are good institutions in India that are worth partnering with.
It feels like we're at a kind of a moment in time where things could actually start to happen, and you kind of felt that buzz in the room. I think we talked through quite a lot of ideas about mobility, and I think right at the very end there seemed to be some ideas that came out about actual positive action, about how we could perhaps get the British Council to pull together information, how we could look at increasing mobility, and really a sense of how we could collaborate to take steps forward.
I think there were people from many universities, and there were diverse views. The desire to come out to India, the desire to engage in new ways, to think of new models of engagement. So there was a general buzz in the room, there was excitement, and I think that's good for both sides, that people will come out and maybe we will create some new kinds of models of partnerships.
Huge optimism about what Indian and British young people can learn from each other as they hopefully get educated together, study in each other's countries. And I think that shared learning and those relationships, those will produce all kinds of unexpected fruit in the years and decades to come, and that's great.